Hi, my name is Kate, and I'm on the data team for Protect the Results. Thank you so much for signing up to be a host for the Protect the Results campaign and for all of your work to defend democracy as we know it. Today, I'll be walking you through Mobilize. This is the platform that hosts the Protect the Results event and attendee sign-up pages. Over the next about 15 minutes, we'll go through first, how to access your event, second, how to edit your event, third, how to add recurring events, fourth, how to message attendees, and then finally, we'll go through some frequently asked questions that have already come in from hosts like you. So let's go ahead and get started. First, how to access your event. Now, you'll see that there are two different ways to access your event, and we're going to go through both of them right now. The first way to access your event on Mobilize is to go back to the confirmation email that Mobilize sent you when you first signed up to host a Protect the Results event. It'll look something like this. The subject line is "Your event is live." It's from no reply at mobilize.us, so make sure that isn't getting caught in your spam filter. And then you'll see this link that has a bunch of really good resources in this email. It includes the host guide, how to attend a training event, and telling us who your press point of contact is. Now, you'll also see this link, which is how you get back to your event. You'll go here and click on the count every vote in whatever the name of your event was. So if you click here, you're going to be directed straight away to the Mobilize dashboard to the Mobilize dashboard to access your event details. You'll recognize this because this is exactly how attendees will see your event when they're navigating through Mobilize, but you can't actually edit your event through this. Instead, you're going to have another step here, which is you're going to click login, and then you can continue with Google, Facebook, or my favorite, get a magic link. Now, you have to make sure that you remember what email address you use to register your event. If that email address is associated with your Google or Facebook account, you can absolutely log in that way. But if it isn't, or if you're not really sure what email account you use to set up your Facebook, for example, you can click on Get a Magic Link. And here you're going to enter the email address that you used to sign up for your event. And then you'll be sent a magic link that will already be logged in to your event, and where you'll be able to go ahead and edit all of your event details. So if I go back to my inbox, you'll see that you'll get an email that looks something like this. Here's your login link for your Mobilize dashboard. So here I'll click Login to Mobilize. And now you'll see I'm back at this page, but I'm actually logged in now, so I can take the next steps to edit my event details. Here, you'll click on Menu, and then choose Organize for Protect the Results. That's the name of our event campaign, so that's where we gotta go. And now when I'm at this dashboard, you will see that my event is right here. And now the way to edit this event for the next steps is to click on this drop-down arrow under Actions. And you're gonna go to Edit Event here. And remember, now we're on part 2, which is how you can edit your event details. It's likely, in fact, expected that if we have to activate this network, that you're gonna want to edit some of your event details, like the location, maybe the date and time, and you're definitely going to want to remove this tentative language for your event because it won't be tentative anymore. And you're gonna wanna make sure that your attendees know that this event is on. So after you click Edit Event in your dashboard, you'll be directed to this screen. If you scroll down, you'll see that the event description is actually right down here. You can just go ahead and delete. This is something you can edit. You can go ahead and delete the description and add in any other details that you may want. One thing I want to note is that the event image is unfortunately not something that you're able to edit, but it is something that we're going to make sure is updated on our end. So don't you worry about it, not at all. You might also want to edit your event detail to say happening today or something like that, just to make sure that your attendees know that your event has been updated, that you as a host are on top of things, and that this event is happening. There might be other things you want to edit, like your location. Now, there are some hosts who have noticed that they enter their location and then for some reason it doesn't show up on the map. There might be a little bit of a delay with the map, but more often it's because the event location was added in an address format where the map doesn't recognize it. In one example, it's just that the city name was spelled wrong. But the way that you know it's going to show up on the national map is if you have this show up here. You're going to have to make sure that when you edit your event details, if that's something you need to edit, that a preview of your location pops up on the right-hand side. When that shows up, you know you are all set. The next thing I want to show you is this, which is only attendees can see this location. You might want your location for security reasons or just because you're not exactly sure what the location is going to be for now, to only be visible to people who have attended, who have already RSVP'd, as opposed to being visible on the public map. If that's the case, you can go ahead and select this. Your event will still show up on the map, but it will have a slightly less specific location than if you don't select this button. Okay, so the next piece is your date and time. This is where you might want to change your date and time. You might even want to add date and time, but we'll get back to that after I go through the other event details that you can edit. The next piece is obviously your contact phone number, which is not shown to attendees, and additional information for attendees. This is really valuable because attendees will get an email on the day of the event reminding them that they RSVP'd. This is where you can include information about things like parking, accessibility, if there are interpreters in ASL or foreign languages available, or any other details you might want to include. Even if it's just something like show up early if you want to make sure that you have one of the signs that we're going to have pre-printed. It's totally up to you. But if you as an attendee would find the information helpful for a protest that you were attending, chances are that your attendees would find that information helpful too. The next one is to check your event visibility. This should be public if you want if you want your event to show up on the map, or if you want any of the national partners to recruit to your event. Really, all events should be public because we want to make sure that we're inviting people from your community to join in on this effort. If it's private, it won't show up on the map, and the only way that people will be able to find it is if you send them a link to your event specifically. Now, that's not a great outreach strategy, but it might be right for you if you're having an event that's just for friends and family. But in general, we recommend that you leave event visibility on public. And if you want to be a little bit more careful around your specific event location, again, that's something that you would edit back up here, and you could select only attendees can see this location. This will keep the event public, but the location a little bit hidden, whereas this will completely hide your event. All right, and then you might want to add a co-host, someone else who can access all of these details in case you're unavailable, or who can message attendees if, say, you're going to be busy picking up signs or just getting the venue set up before the event. In that case, you're going to want to add a co-host, and here you would add their first name, last name, and email, and then they'll get a link just like yours to access their event, this event, online. Then you would click save and all of these details would be updated. And that's how you edit your event details. The next thing I want to go over is how to add recurring events. Now, just to be really clear, recurring events are events that would take place in the same location, but multiple times throughout a day, throughout the week, throughout the month, whatever time and day makes the most sense to you and to your community. So I just want to scroll up here so you can see it. So again, the date and time is here, and here's where you can add another time or repeat, for example, every week for a month. One thing I want to be really clear about though, and I already said this, but I think it's worth underlining, you cannot change the location by adding a date and time. If you're going to have events in more than one location, we highly recommend that you register multiple events on the map. The reason is that there are some people who aren't going to make the 5, 10, 15, 20-mile drive to a different location. So we want to make sure that people are only RSVPing to events that they can actually go to. And one of the ways that we do that is by making sure that recurring events are in the same location, but can occur at different times. So, and at multiple times. So the way to add a recurring event is really simple. You can add another time by clicking here, and then you'll see another row shows up here. Here you would select another date. Let's say you want to have it November 5th, also at 4 p.m., also with a 6 p.m. end time. And again, no capacity. Now, the reason we don't add capacity here is because if you reach capacity on your event, no one will be able to see it. They won't see it on the map, and no one else will be able to RSVP for it. So unless there's a really good reason for you to have capacity, like you're actually in an indoor venue, which isn't really recommended during COVID times, we want to make sure that you leave capacity open. Okay, so you can keep adding as many dates and times as you want. It's completely up to you. And just so you know, when people RSVP for the first event in this list, they'll automatically receive an email to RSVP to the second event once the first event is over. So it's really easy for you to make sure that attendees of your first event are able to be invited to every subsequent event that's listed here. And that's it. That's how you add recurring events. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and click save on this event. Well, let me remove my co-host first, which you can do by clicking this X on the side. All right, so now I'm going to click save on the event. The next piece I want to show you is how to message your attendees. Now, if you go in here and you go to view signups, you can actually see a bunch of different options for how to message your attendees or add messages to existing outgoing communications. For example, there's going to be a short follow-up email that will include event and shift recommendations for future events that's sent to your attendees, and you can add a custom message there. You can also just scroll down to the bottom and say you have an event update, or you just want to tell all of your attendees, this event is on. The really easy way to do that is to scroll down on the screen and click email attendees here, and you'll see you can send an email to everyone who has registered or confirmed their attendance at your event. Choose a subject and write your message, and off you go. There are two things to keep in mind. First, this email does use markdown code if you want to do things like add hyperlinks or bold text. It's not that hard to learn, but it is something where you might want to look up a tutorial online for Markdown. The second piece is that this email will appear to come from your email address. So when people reply, they'll be replying directly to you in your inbox, which is kind of great because it means you don't have to navigate back to this screen in order to see what your RSVPs are saying in response to the email that you sent out. So then you click send email and you're all set. And that's how you send your email to attendees. All right, so we've covered how to access your event, how to edit your event details, and some of those very key features. We've covered how to add recurring shifts, how to add co-hosts, and now we've covered how to message all of your attendees. So the last thing that I want to go over, because this is something that hosts have asked about, is actually how do I turn off these notifications that come up when people register to attend my event? I'm getting way too many emails about this. I completely understand. And so I'm going to show you quickly how to edit your notification preferences. And then after that, we're going to come back to this screen and I'm going to show you how you can actually remove uh, attendees who might be illegitimate. All right, so when you are here, you can go back to your full event details. And here again, this is another place where they have the email all attendees function, which is great. But right now we're going to look at the notifications. So you're going to click on menu and go to account. Here is where you'll find all of your notification settings. So you can see right now that I'm getting notifications for virtually everything I can get notifications for, including a volunteer signs up for an event you own, reminder emails for events you're hosting, events are nearly over, etc. So if you toggle all of these off, or as many as you want, you can limit the number of emails that you're receiving related to your event. All right, so the next thing that I want to focus on is how do you remove trolls? Now, in order to show you this, I'm going to first have to actually register for the event that I made. So I'm going to register for an event using my Indivisible email address, and I'm going to click sign up. Now, say that I was a bad actor. You might get some people who have email addresses that say something like Trump 2020 or never Biden or something else, and you know that this isn't a real person who is actually supportive of your event campaign. That's okay, it happens, but you probably don't want to send them emails. So what you would do to remove them from your event is you'd go back to your account on Mobilize, you go to menu, you return to your Protect the Results event. So you'll see here, again, I went to menu and then clicked on Protect the Results under Organize For. So here, instead of clicking on Actions and saying Edit Event, I'm going to go to View Signups. So you'll see here that this is the information of the person who just registered. In that case, but say this was, a bad actor, I would change their sign up status to canceled. The other thing that you can do after you've canceled someone from your event is you can go ahead and send their email address to the support team inbox at Indivisible. Again, that's support team at indivisible.org. And we'll actually be able to block this person from not only re-RSVPing to your event, but from RSVPing to any event in this campaign or from creating their own event, because it's really clear that they are not a legitimate supporter of the campaign, and we don't want hosts to have to deal with that. So that's Mobilize. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to us. Again, that's support team at indivisible.org. And in the meantime, have an amazing time organizing your event. We wish you all the best from all of the Protect the Results Coalition partners. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your day. Bye.